It is Sunday. It's finally here. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is here in full force. We got a little taste of it Thursday, and that was awesome. I loved it. I just couldn't wait, chomping at the bit. We're going to be talking about FanDuel this morning really quickly. We're going to try and help you get set up for the day. I know the games start in about an hour and a half or so. So let's get right into it. Let's get it. First of all, I want to tell you that we're being the tool that we're using today. We use all kinds of tools here at Phase Fantasy for projections and things like that. Over the years, we've developed relationships with a lot of these companies. We're using the ETR, Establish the Run projections this morning, and so I'm going to share my screen and show you exactly who they have projected and what they think about some of these players today. So let's get into it right now. Let me go ahead and just pull them up. So here's their projections for quarterback. So let's just go over some quarterbacks for today. Remember, this is FanDuel. This is the main slate. We're not talking any DraftKings. We're talking FanDuel only. So if you look here, we have Jalen Hurts. They like Jalen Hurts a lot, and I do too. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a great day today. He is their best value per dollar. So he costs $8,000. His projection is 23.3 points, but he has a ceiling of 32. And that's why he's the best value, because if you look here, you see Lamar Jackson, you see Patrick Mahomes. They all, are going to have good days today too, but they think that the value is with Hurts. But because of the value is with Hurts, look at his ownership. He's owned in almost 20% of the tournaments out there. And Lamar is at 13%. Patrick Mahomes is at 12%. Personally, I have a lot of Lamar lineups today. I'm really high on Lamar, the Lamar Andrews stack. We'll get into tight ends in a little bit. Like I said, this is going to be a real fast and quick video. I hope that you get a hold of it and see it before the kickoff today. If you're with me live, go ahead and just, if you have any questions, just hit me up in the comments. So you got Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray. A lot of people are fading Murray because he doesn't really have anything there. He doesn't really have any. A lot of his tools are missing. So Zach Ertz is hurt. DeAndre Hopkins is suspended. Rondale Moore is hurt. He's not playing today. So a lot of people are staying away from Kyler Murray today. So you could slide in there, but he comes with a high price to not have his full tool bag there. If you're looking for a bargain at quarterback, personally, I think this is the week that you pay up for the quarterback. You go get one of these guys, Lamar, Jalen, Patrick Mahomes. You go get one of those guys. But if you're looking for a bargain, I think the biggest bargain is Mitchell Trubisky down here. He's only an 8, not even 1% ownership. But his ceiling's only 20 points too. He costs you $6,400. Derek Carr at $7,400 is probably a better bet, or a Kirk Cousins at $7,300. So personally, if I'm looking at a quarterback in FanDuel this week, I'm not going down there. I'm staying up top, and that's where I'm living. I'm living with Lamar, with Hurts, and Patrick Mahomes. Those are the guys that I have most of my lineup set with this weekend. And so, especially Lamar, I'm really high and heavy on Lamar. I think he's going to have a great day today. He didn't get that extension that he wanted, and so he's basically playing to become a free agent. So he's going to ball out, and I love him and Andrews. All right, so let's go on over to running backs. And at the running back position, the no-brainer is really Christian McCaffrey. When Christian McCaffrey is healthy, he's the best running back in fantasy. And, he comes with a hefty price, 9,500, but look at his ceiling. It's 28. His ownership is high too. It's at 20%, 19.9. So he has a high ownership. A lot of people are on Saquon Barkley because he's so affordable. He only costs $6,800. But 21% ownership is really high. People love Aaron Jones, and I like Aaron Jones against the Vikings today. They're going to have to get some offense from somewhere because a lot of guys are hurt. Alan Lazard is down. He's not going to play today. And I know that Aaron Rodgers does not like rookie receivers. So you're going to have to look at that. So they're going to have to get their points somewhere. So look for a run heavy offense from the Packers today. Aaron Jones. Let's see where they have AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon's down here. He's only, his ownership is 6.8. He cost $6,100. So, he has a floor of 10.9 and a ceiling of 15.5. So, I don't know about AJ Dillon so much. I think you can find something a little better somewhere else. But in this running back position, the real, this guy right here, Damien Pierce, everyone's been talking about him. And as this is updated as of this morning. This list is updated as of this morning. So we're getting the truest ownership projections as we possibly can, as close to kickoff as we possibly can. And you're seeing that Damien Pierce, he's at 18% ownership. So a lot of people are jumping on Damien Pierce, but it makes sense because he's $5,400. That's dirt cheap. He may never be cheaper, depending on how he does today. I mean, if he bombs, then yeah, he'll stay that cheap. But if he plays well and does what they think is capable of doing, he should be on a lot of rosters. And $5,400, that is dirt cheap for a running back that is said to probably get 17 to 22 touches today. They're worried about Rex Burkhead in the passing game, and they're also worried about inside the goal, inside the red zone, the uses of Pierce. And so that's why some people are fading him, but the others are all in on him. They're saying at that price, I can't go wrong. I mean, you can put him with McCaffrey and just lock those two in with a Lamar Jackson. And now you already have three really solid. You got two studs with Jackson and McCaffrey, a maybe with, Damian Pierce. And then you go on from there. Let's see, Joe Mixon here. They play the Steelers today. He's 8,300. He's at 15% ownership. James Conner is one that, the Cardinals are going to have to find their offense from somewhere with Kyler Murray and, James Conner. They're going to be real heavy on James Conner today. His ownership's only at 13%. So at $7,700, that's a pretty good deal right there. Jonathan Taylor, his ownership isn't that bad. It's 13.4 first game out of the gate, but his price tag is $10,000. That's, to me, I'm not, I don't have any lineups with Jonathan Taylor today. So that's what we got with running backs. We have Dalvin Cook in here at 8,400. That's kind of a hefty price, but he's probably going to get you 16 to 20 points today, or maybe 20. Maybe he'll hit a ceiling. A lot of people like Travis Etienne. He's only $6,200. But the thing with him is kind of like Dameon Pierce too. He's a rookie. Well, he's not a rookie, but he didn't play all last year. So this is his first real NFL game. And if they use him the way that they're saying they're going to use him out of the backfield, then he's probably going to be a great value. We'll see what goes on with him. But at $6,200, that's pretty cheap. They're saying that Robinson's going to get playing time, that they have a full script ready for him, that he's a 100% go. So that is what's kind of, I think, making people fade ETN just a little bit more. But and then there's DeAndre Swift at $7,600. A lot of people are on him, but his ownership isn't bad. It's 14.3. He's projected to have 14.5 points, and his ceiling is 21. So that's not a bad purchase either if you're looking for a quality running back. So there goes some running back. Let's see what else we got here. Michael Carter. I see a lot of Michael Carter in some of these generators and lineups, and I've heard a lot about Michael Carter. We all know that Breece Hall is probably the number one guy there, but Michael Carter is only owned at 4%. So his ownership's very low, but his ceiling's kind of low too. And you just don't know. The Jets offensive line is banged up, so you're just not sure what to expect from them. Okay, so that's running back. Hopefully that gives you an idea of some of the ownership you could see right here. And that's always really important in FanDuel when you're doing daily fantasy. Let's get on over to the wide receivers. Now, wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, everyone's on Justin Jefferson, 22%. He's probably going to have a big game today. He'll probably hit his ceiling or get close to it. I think that that's a great pick. But at that price, 8,100, you may want to structure your team a little differently, especially if you're going to try and get like a Lamar and stack him with Andrews and then have something like a McCaffrey. If you're trying to get those three guys on your team, Jefferson probably won't fit in your budget, but there are a lot of guys that will. Mike Williams, he's $6,600 and his ceiling is 19.9, but a lot of people are getting on him too. 19.1% ownership. So there's a lot of people out there that are on Mike Williams, but the volume and that he's going to get and the price that you pay for him right now is excellent. That's a great price for a really quality receiver going up against a depleted Las Vegas Raiders secondary. They're going to have some trouble in that secondary. I think the Raiders are going to be really good this year, but they're going to have to figure out that secondary pretty quick here, especially coming out against Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. Marquise Brown, he's a good pick, 6,900. He's the only one right now from Arizona. So it's Brown and it's Connor and it's Kyler. So he's probably going to get most of the targets. Is he that kind of a receiver? He's had flashes in the past. At that price, though, that's not a bad, take. If you're stacking your team, you can fit a $6,900 wide receiver in there. A lot of people are on Brandon Cooks because he's so cheap, 6,600. He's the main option in Houston. If Davis Mills is right, he's really the main option in Houston. And so I think Brandon Cooks is a good buy at 6,600. He really helps you get a quality wide receiver if you're stacking at the quarterback and if you're really going up for buying up at the quarterback and at the running back position. So Brandon Cooks is really a good filler in your lineup as a quality wide receiver. He's only owned at 16%, 16.7%. So that's not bad. T. Higgins is one that's kind of flying under the radar because Jamar Chase gets so much love. But T. Higgins, he's only owned in 13.9%. But he costs 7,000. So he's a mid-range, wide receiver. He's not cheap. He's not too expensive. His ceiling is 19. He's projected at 13.4. So, that's not a bad buy. But Christian Kirk right underneath him. I like Christian Kirk. We have him in a lineup that we have here with FaZe, and he's only 5,800. And I know his ceiling's only 15, but he's really the main option there for Trevor Lawrence. They're going up against a Washington defense that hasn't been proven yet, but I kind of like that Washington defense too. For FanDuel, just for filler purposes, they're not bad. Well, we'll get into that in a second here. But yeah, so Christian Kirk, he's a good play, great value at that 5,800. And then Jamar Chase is 8,200, and his ownership is low though in FanDuel. It's 7.9%. That's not bad. Not too many people are on Jamar. I think the reason for that is because they have T. Higgins, they have Jamar, they have Mixon, they have a lot of ways to score in Cincinnati, and I just don't think that that Jamar is worth it at the 8,200. I did a FanDuel consistency video just came out yesterday. Check it out. And Jamar was the ninth. His percentage of scoring 10 points or more in FanDuel was 70%. And he came in ninth out of 10 for the receivers, out of the top 10 receivers. So he can fluctuate sometimes how he scores in FanDuel. So Adam Thielen is a good play at $6,100. He's an excellent play, but there he's getting some love. There's 14%, 14.6% ownership. So you got to be careful with that one. Here's one that I like. I like Brandon Ayuk at $5,600. You're going to probably get 10 to maybe 20 points out of Brandon Ayuk at that price. That's a great value. He's only owned in 5.5% of the lineups in Fanduel. So I think Brandon Ayuk is a really good value there. And then Juju, I love me some Juju today. I'll be honest with you. He's only owned at 5.2%, but at 64, I think that this is the way that the Chiefs are going to show that they didn't need Tyreek Hill anymore. And they're going to really get Juju the ball a lot. I know Sky Moore, man, his is he's way at the bottom of this list, but if he gets in, we'll see what he can do. But Juju, I love me some Juju. And then the last one I want to talk about here, the last couple I want to talk about here, if you're just trying to get a real good value, Chris Olave, love me some Olave, only owned in 4.9. We don't know what we're going to get out of Michael Thomas because he has been hurt. I think that Olave and Landry are going to get most of the love. Landry, he's been Landry. I mean, let's just face it. He's been who he's been. And so he hasn't been a very great daily fantasy guy. So Chris Olave could have a good day today. All you need him to do, there's my ESPN app. All you need him to do is score a touchdown or maybe get 8 catches. You know what I'm saying? They've been using him to stretch the field. So he's only $5,000, 4.9% ownership. His ceiling is 13.6, and it could be higher than that. I love me some Olave, and then I also love Hunter Renfrow. His ownership's only 9.4%. He's only $5,900. And this guy is consistent. You're going to get today out of him 12 to 17 points. Trust me on that one. 12 to 17 points you are going to get out of Hunter Renfrow today for $5,900. That is a total good buy. So there's some wide receivers to take a look at and some of their ownership. Let's get on over to the tight ends. Now here at the tight end, you can go one of two ways. You can just buy up and say, I'm just going to get one of these top guys, or you can go way down and, hope that you get some value down there. Let's look at the top guys first. Obviously, Travis Kelce, his ownership is 16.6%. Everybody is jumping on Kyle Pitts at $6,000. That's why he's only $6,000. And everyone's jumping on him, 22.9%. So if you have a Kyle Pitts lineup, know that there's a lot of people that are on him with you. Dallas Goedert is one that's kind of flying under the radar. Look at him. He's 8.3% ownership. And I think he's going to have a good day today at 5,700. Excellent price. That's an excellent price. 9.4, his FanDuel projections 9.4. I have me a couple of Dallas Goedert lineups, and then there's Mark Andrews. Now you're going to pay up 7,900, but his ceiling is 19.9. He is owned by 10%, 10.6%, so that's not that bad. I have a few Lamar and Andrew stacks. I just think they're going to have a really good day today. I think they match up very well against that Jets defense. And so that's what you got there. Here's TJ Hawkinson. He's owning 12% for 5,700. That's not bad. Maybe he can finally start being the TJ that we all thought that we had a couple seasons ago, but he's had some injuries and some things going on with him. One of the guys flying under the radar is Irv Smith Jr. at 5,100. He's, if you're looking for a filler tight end, he fits the bill. He's only owned in 3.7% of the lineups, and his ceiling is 11.9. So Darren Waller's a little expensive at 7,000. His ownership is real low, though. But people are a little concerned with Darren Waller because with the emergence of Hunter Renfrow and the arrival of Devontae Adams, they're thinking that there's too many targets now, and Waller may be one of them that's kind of left out a little bit. His target share is going to drop some, which is true. It will. It definitely will. All of their target share will drop some. But let's see. Josh McDaniels works pretty good with tight ends. I mean, he's had a couple really good tight ends there in New England that he's helped develop. So I'm sure he has some things for Waller. But another one, and the last one I think I really want to go over on this list is Cole Kmet. Now, Cole Kmet only costs $5,000. That's it. But he's only owned at 3.2%. And people are saying that him and Justin Fields really have a good, healthy, relationship, that their chemistry is pretty good. And this guy was a stud in college. So it wouldn't surprise me if he has a good day today going against the 49ers. We'll have to see how that's going to all work out. But he's one to keep your eye on. And if you're trying to just feel that if you build your team where you want to really have a quality quarterback, running back, and wide receiver top in at those three positions, and then you want to just buy down at your tight end, Komet is a really good, he's value for that. $5,000. He's only owned at 3.2%. That's pretty good. And then let's get on over to the defense and check them out. Now, the defenses are just kind of they're what they are. Defenses are fickle. Defenses are crazy in FanDuel. Last year, the Dolphins led all teams in FanDuel defense, which is, fantasy defense for daily, which is really kind of interesting. I do recall them having a few 20-point games last year. They just seem to surprise people. But here you have the Commanders. They're the best value, but I don't know if they're the best team to go with. They're only $3,700, which is a good price. And if you're looking to drop to defense and just be like, I don't care about, a defense, I just want to just put the cheapest one in there, like a lot of us do sometimes, and just so I could feel everywhere else and hope my defense just doesn't go negative. Sometimes that's what happens. But so the Commanders, you have the Atlanta Falcons. They're going against New Orleans. I would not play the Falcons. The Commanders, yes, I would play the Commanders. The Steelers against Cincinnati, that might be a tough one because I think Burrow and the boys are going to have a good day today, but you may never get the Steelers lower in price than you do today. The 49ers versus the Bears, you'd have to pay up for that. There's a lot of question marks about Justin Fields, so that may be a good buy. I really like the defenses that I really like I like the Cincinnati Bengals against the Steelers and Mitchell Trubisky, or if they get the rookie, quarterback in there, Kenny Pickett. I do like the Cincinnati Bengals defense. And I also like the Miami Dolphins defense at $3,800. To me, that's a real good value. I know they're going to against New England. Historically, they've done well over the past few years against New England. They're at home. They got Tyreek. They're, going to be hyped, a new coach. So I think that I do like the Dolphins. I do have Dolphins lineups. I do have Commanders lineups, and I do have Bengal lineups. So, you know, here it is, real quick, real fast. I just want to get you this information. Check it out. Check out the projections. These tools are really, really helpful. If you want, you can go to Establish the Run and you could purchase this package for FanDuel. I think it's like 250, 260 bucks, something like that for the year. I know that's kind of a lot of money for a lot of us, but this is what I do all the time. And so the tools that I use, I have to pay a little bit for some of the tools that I use. This is just one of the tools. This isn't solely how I pick my lineups or how I project, but this is one of the resources that I do use to help me come up with all of my projections, and when I go over my players and break them down, there's several different resources. We do a lot of research here at Phase, and it helps us come up with our own opinion on all these players, from beat writers to uh, just the team sites and the team beat writer, from different websites and resources and Gridiron AI and Fantasy Labs, and there's just all kinds of resources out there that you can use that helps you dominate on Sundays and in Fanduel. Last year we did great in Fanduel. We started out of the gate in week 2. We won. We hit in our second week. By time the 5 weeks had passed, we had hit twice already on some pretty nice sized tournaments. So we're expecting to do the same this year. We're going to try and sneak up on them today and try and steal one in this tournament. So I'm going to let you get to it. Get your lineups in. Today is the day. And if you're doing year-long leagues, good luck with those two. Hopefully you had a great draft, and I hope that we helped you with that draft. So go get them, get your lineup set, and have a great day.